This is the handsome, rugged coast of Cornwall. And our teaching challenger, Rick Stein, perhaps Britain's most popular chef.
Grilled scallops with hazelnut and coriander butter. Salmon gravlax with a horseradish and mustard cream.
Apart from his many television series, he has built up a small empire of quality shops, restaurants and hotels in the idyllic town of Padstow. But this morning, he's leaving it all behind because in less than an hour, he'll be teaching a class of Year 9 pupils for the first time in his life. It's out of the comfort of the kitchen and into the classroom at Newquay Tretharris School, where he'll be teaching English to a class of teenage boys. Their regular teacher is Samantha Fairbairn.
Now, how many of you know who Rick Stein is? Put your hands up for me. Goodness me. So, would somebody like to tell me a little bit about him? Tom?
He's a chef and he's got a little dog called Chalky.
John?
My dad likes him.
Your dad likes him?
Yeah, I see him watching him on the telly sometimes.
At ease with the camera on culinary matters, Rick will not only be taking an English class, no mean feat in itself, but sailing into a subject area where, faced with disinterested pupils, many have run aground. He'll be teaching poetry.
What I want to get over is how I see the whole business of poetry, how it works and why I love it so much.
The first thing that he will notice when he walks in the room is that it's an all-boys group. And the reason for that is that the department noticed there was a distinct difference between the attainment of boys and girls in Year 9 SATs, and we wanted to address that balance. The difficulty is that they see poetry as being out of date, out of tune with their own experiences. So you need to choose poetry quite carefully to engage a teenage audience. But I think he has presence. They're very excited about a celebrity as they see it coming in. So hopefully it will be an interesting experiment.
So how do the boys rate Rick's chances of success? Just before the class begins, Rick discusses his lesson plan with Sam.
Perhaps you'd like to tell me what you're planning to do with the boys this morning?
Yeah, well, I'm a bit nervous, so I need a bit of help, I must say. But, I thought of Seamus Heaney, because I know he's one of the GCSE poets. Yeah. Would they know digging, by the way?
No, not at all. They know a little bit about Seamus Heaney biographically, but they've not studied a poem yet, so it would be completely fresh.
Right. Well, I've chosen that one because it's very clear what's going on in it, and I hope that some of them would have experience of watching their father dig potatoes. I don't know, but what do you think?
That would be interesting.
Right.
That would be interesting. Many of them live in Newquay itself, but they will have friends that actually, are out there in the rural community. So, but that would be an interesting question.
Right. I think I'd also like to ask them about where's he coming from with a poem. I mean, the thing I like about so many of his poems, they've got this slight elegiac quality. And I wonder if they'll pick that up, that it's sort of like, using the memory of his father as a sort of nostalgic and it's a nice feeling for us all, isn't it? Okay. Wish me luck.
You'll be fine. They're looking forward to it.
As Rick realises that escape is impossible, Sam takes up her position next door to monitor his performance. The Year 9 poetry skeptics arrive.
Morning. I wanted to find out who you are, really. So I've had some little labels printed.
It's an inspired way to personalise the lesson, but handing the labels out is another matter.
Oh dear. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm not a teacher, so... there we go. Good. Second, Tom? Look, I'm going to hand them round. Oh, no, that because I want to see who you are, sorry. Anyway, as I'm doing this... Right, Chris? As I'm doing this, I just want to sort of ask you a few things about what I'm going to talk about today, which is Seamus Heaney. Do you know anything about him?
Lots of hands are going up if you heard about Seamus Heaney, which they have.
It's true. Anybody know where in Northern Ireland? Near where?
Is it County Derry?
It certainly is.
They're giving him some nice answers about Heaney's background. but he's more worried about giving out his labels than talking about Heaney at the moment.
Let's just get this over and done with quick. Just what were you going to say?
He went in to teach him, but he didn't like it, so...
No, can you understand why? It's a joke, sorry. I'll just pass them round now because I think I better get on and read the poem, all right? Ed, do you want to read it? Do you fancy having a go? There you go. While he's reading it, just hand them round.
Digging. Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests snug as a gun. Under my window, a clean rasping sound when the spade sinks into the gravelly ground. My father digging, I look down. Till his straining rump among the flower beds bends low.
This is nice. Ed's standing up. They're all focused on the poem, so there's good discipline here.
Right. Would anybody like to tell me what they think of it? Tom?
I think it's quite good, because I think it means like he's as good with a pen as his grandfather was with a spade.
It's very, very good observation, that I have to say. Top marks. Over here, John.
I like the way it says the cold smell of potato, because you can like fully imagine it.
You know that smell? Yeah. Now, how many digging operations are going on in this poem, by the way? Can you tell?
No.
Well, there's two, in fact. There's his father digging potatoes and his grandfather digging turf, which is what in Ireland they heat their houses with peat.
Could have paused there to let them think about an answer to a question, not just passed on it, because they would come up with ideas there.
And there's one simile in this poem, which is, I think, quite arresting. Do you know what a simile is? Yeah, Tom?
It's where you describe something to be like something else.
Okay, well, can you find it? First to find it. It's not difficult to find. Yes?
Snug as a gun.
Snug as a gun, perfect.
Snug as a gun, yeah. Good use of praise.
Why do you think he uses the simile snug as a gun?
That's quite a deep question.
Okay, well, where is this poem written? Let's think about this. Where's it written?
Good. Making it accessible.
In Ireland?
In Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
So, yeah?
Because there's quite a lot of conflict in Northern Ireland. So, and everyone had guns, and so he had a pen instead.
Exactly.
This is good because he's probing Tom's response there and explaining it to the rest of the group.
If you look at that first two lines, right, between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests snug as a gun, and then you go to the last two lines of the poem, okay, 3 lines. It says, between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests, I'll dig with it. What's he saying there, do you think, then?
That his pen is a tool.
That's right, yeah.
He's got their attention, nice use of hand. He's getting into his stride now.
I think it's very important a very important thing about Seamus Heaney is that he has this sort of sense of moral value in all his poems. Yeah, John?
Even though he's left the farm, he's shown that he hasn't forgot the farm or his family or anything like that.
That's right. So what do you think he's saying about sort of life then, if that's what he feels about the farm?
It was good.
It was good. But also, I think he's saying that not only it's good, it's those memories as a child is what your life is about, really, don't you think? Good, good.
After numerous good critical responses from the class, our novice teacher gets to the heart of the matter.
You all understand that this is a poem about great admiration for Seamus Heaney, for his father and his grandfather. I just want you to spend a few minutes now, just a little written exercise, just write about somebody that you know that has a similar effect on you. It doesn't have to be a farmer, could be a postman, could be a painter decorator, could even be a humble chef. Sorry, it's a private joke.
So maybe could have waited until they were all listening until he spoke, because they've missed that lovely quip about being a humble chef. They're straight to it.
My granddad died when I was about 2 years old, but I thought that he really respected me and that he would be trusted by me. He made a cot for me which looked as if it had been bought from somewhere. He made lots of other toys for me to play with. He was a very good carpenter. My dad was his son and he had a lot of things passed on to him, like a workbench, hammer and spades, etc.
Brilliant. Right, who's written about their mum?
Mine is my mum. She's always there for me and she always knows the right things to say. Whenever we have any problems, she sorts them out straight away.
Great, lovely.
This is extremely personal reflection that he's elicited from these boys. That's lovely.
Good. Well, I think I've had a chance to read most of them, and they're very nice, I have to say. Very nice indeed. They're a nice lot of boys. Thank you very much.
It's a slightly awkward but warm farewell before Rick joins Sam for the debriefing.
Okay, how do you feel that it went?
Well, I think what surprised me most about the kids was their sort of sophistication. I didn't expect that degree of sort of understanding. And I mean, after all, they had to pick up on those poems very quickly. I thought a lot of the things they said were absolutely spot on. And I hope I indicated to them when they had said the right thing, because I was genuinely quite surprised.
In terms of structure, we were in the poem and we were talking about imagery and getting to grips with that lovely simile. And I don't know whether that threw you, because you got a very good answer straight away.
Yes.
And I think I said, well, I wonder what he's going to ask next. How do you follow that?
Actually. It took the wind out of my sails big time. It's a bit like cooking in the kitchen when you suddenly realise you've got too many customers to cook for, and you start to panic, and you just think, don't panic, you cannot.
No.
And you just got to keep going, and then you can pull yourself through.
Part of the lesson that I really liked was when you'd relaxed a little bit and you related it, I think, to your own experience and theirs as well, and you started to talk to them about people that were important to them in their lives, and I thought you got some really sensitive,
very sensitive,
responses there, and some of them were quite streetwise kids as well, you know, and to write about the grandfather in the cradle, I thought that Peter did, I thought was wonderful. Yeah, I think if you needed evidence that the themes of the poem struck home, I think you've got that in their writing. Yeah. So have you enjoyed this morning?
I've loved it, honestly. I mean, I actually, even when I was offered the chance to do it, I thought I really want to do this. But I mean, it's so rewarding. I mean, you're very lucky, I think, to have such nice people to teach.
Good. I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much. It's been nice to meet you.
Cheers, sir.
But what did the boys make of Rick's attempt to lift the words of Seamus Heaney off the page?
The lesson went pretty good. Like, I find poetry boring normally, but I didn't actually find it boring today.
Well, usually we just like writing on paper and doing loads of paperwork, but it was good for a change to have like a good class discussion.
So I found that I actually liked some poetry, because before I thought I hated all poetry.
They were far more enthusiastic, far more vocal than I thought. So, I mean, I was quite overwhelmed with the amount of participation. I do think there is that slight element when you're teaching children of sort of only being one step ahead of them.